Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you. I just want to talk about TicketGate and just talk about that just for a minute, because I think it's important, because my reputation has been absolutely vindicated in the last couple of days, because over the last 6 months Alex Botton, Fiona Robertson and a large number of atheists had a campaign where they waged war on me and started to slander me, attack me. Alex Botton would make a video against me every week, completely unbalanced and fanatical, and Fiona Robertson made quite a lot of videos about me, and many other atheists. In those videos, on the Captain Awesome crew, a big announcement was made. Oh, Jason has done this, Jason has done this. And everybody said, well, what's happened? And the accusation was made by people on the Captain Awesome crew, Leonard Orr, Captain Awesome crew, Fiona Robertson, that basically, because I accused her of being a stalker, and when I meant stalker, I meant internet stalker, going around following people when they didn't want to be followed on the internet. That's what I meant by that. Basically, this accusation, then somebody heard it where Fiona lived, and a child got beat up because of this. I asked for evidence for this. A whole shitstorm was created where Richard Raspberry was was like viciously attacked on the internet, etc. And all this happened because I was about to join forces with Richard Raspberry and Brett Keane. So all this accusation against me came at that time when I was about to join up with these guys. And basically, I asked for evidence, and no evidence was given about connecting me to a child. I was told that I can't have any evidence, you don't deserve any evidence, you can't have evidence, we don't give evidence, or whatever. But the whole atheist community online, from DPR Jones, Hogtie Champ, many atheists, famous and not so famous, all joined in and all stuck the boot in and said, you're a horrible person. It also led to a guy called Cliff Jumper, who was a friend of Fiona Robertson's, coming into the city centre, filming me, nearly causing me a nervous breakdown, getting another atheist nearly to hit me, and then a few weeks later he nearly hit. He was ready to hit me and wanted to hit me. In fact, you know, he swung to punch me when he was getting off his bike, but held back as he was doing it. All this because of this drama, because Fiona Robertson put this accusation out. A few months later, Veckel and Arcane were talking to Fiona about this, and they were very wise. They didn't get involved in it, but they let her talk about it. And as she talked, she revealed, number one, that this video that I made went onto her Facebook, so that's her problem, letting it on Facebook. Then a mother saw this Facebook video that I did on Facebook, so it was the mother's problem. Fiona allowing the video on her Facebook. The mother who saw it, and then some kids apparently heard the mother talk about it, and then when they were at school or whatever the situation was, they assaulted her son. Which, if that happened, if an assault did happen to her son, you know, I'm very sorry about that. But there's nothing to do with me. It was about her Facebook. It was about a mother, and then it was about two other kids, teenage kids, that had made a decision based on no information that they've had, accurate information. And even if it was, they shouldn't have done anything. It's disgusting. But the point is, it had nothing to do with me. And I asked for evidence, and no evidence was forthcoming. And yet she revealed this step, and then continued to go around causing this horrible, slanderous accusation. Every time I debate someone, she'd turn up. When I'm winning debates, she'd turn up and throw out this accusation. She turned up on a few weeks ago and was harassing me, screaming at me when I just wanted to talk to her about evolution. The atheists allowed it to happen, and they all said, "Oh yeah, well done, wonderful, Fiona, what you did," and all the rest. And this is after 6 months after it. But the point is that the whole atheist community online backed this woman. They allowed her to slander me. They wouldn't give me any evidence for this slander. My own side couldn't say anything because it was emotional blackmail. Because if we said anything, it's like, oh, it's her kid's been affected. So my side couldn't say anything. So, in other words, she had us all tied down with this emotional blackmail of an invention that she'd done where there was no evidence. No evidence was given at all. But the evidence that she did give about how it took place vindicated me anyway, that it was nothing to do with me. Even if that story was true, which I don't believe it's true, even if it was true, it vindicated me. But I don't think the story was true. I don't think the story was true at all, that it was connected to me in any way, because there were some atheists who saw some conversation on Fiona's Facebook prior to that time and mentioned to her that it was nothing to do with Jason, that it was to do with some issue between I don't know what it was, but they said you're blaming Jason for something that it's nothing to do with him. In other words, there was some kind of conversation going on Facebook and it was nothing to do with me. But she blocked these people. These people were blocked on Cliff Jumper's video that he made me in Manchester. It's now come to light that the all atheist community, many of them are at each other's throats because of some ticket fiasco where I don't know the full ins and outs. But basically, some of the atheists are exposing Fiona for lying. And it turns out that she has a pattern of doing this, that when she's challenged, she'll then fix the blame on some fundy and say that it's the fundy's done this, the fundy's done that, so they get the blame, rather than her taking responsibility for her own actions. And she's tried this to do it twice with Ran Campbell and with G-Man, and then fall flat on her face where it's been exposed. So she has a history of when she's challenged, she tries to destroy opposition by getting personal and inventing some slander against that person, specifically a fundy, in order to let her off the hook from being questioned and challenged. And the same goes for Alex Bolton as well. So she's been well and truly exposed, not by Christians, but by atheists, for doing this. And that's what she did with me. She couldn't cope with the fact that I was challenging in her and challenging the atheist community, and she couldn't face the fact she's an attention seeker. That's number two. And so what she did was invent this slander and used her child to slander me and emotionally blackmail me so that I couldn't have free speech. So whenever I went onto a Google Hangout, she would come on and shut me down by bringing this up. My own side were afraid to say anything because it was such a sensitive issue. And people like DPR Jones and Hogtie Champ backed this woman 100%. Now they're playing a game where they're just doing their nice hangouts, where they're having conversations with Shannon and Ozzy and all the rest of it. But people like Ozzy saw this happen to me. They never spoke out and never said anything. Ozzy's wife never said anything. No one ever spoke out publicly in the atheist community and said to Fiona, where is your evidence? And guess what? The person who's exposed Fiona, a guy called Mark, is the same person who was on her side at that time. And I asked him, give me evidence, and he wouldn't give me any evidence. He wouldn't give me a shred of evidence to prove the connection between me and Fiona's son. And apparently he's a private investigator, and he wouldn't give me any evidence. And they wouldn't give me any evidence. Yet the same Mark has given stacks of evidence against Fiona because Fiona's upset his friend. So it's alright if the atheist community's friends are being attacked and slandered. We'll give evidence to defend them. But if it's Jason, if it's J-Bo being slandered, We don't even have to provide any evidence at all. We just let the guy, we'll let idiots go into town and film him and give him a nervous breakdown, and idiots trying to punch him because of our slanderous nonsense. So the atheist community, so these people are kind of falling on their own swords. They're kind of disappearing now. We're not hearing much from Fiona. We're not hearing much from Alex Bottom. We're not hearing much from these kind of atheists now. They've all kind of gone under the rock. And DPR Jones and the Magic Sandwich Show are quietly just getting on with things. But no, I'm sorry, Lenator, DPR Jones, Captain Awesome crew, there were flipping hundreds of atheists who were in on this accusation against me. And not one shred of evidence was ever given to connect me to Fiona's son. Not one shred of evidence, yet you propounded this slander. And now it's been proved that this woman has done this kind of thing where she slandered funders in order to protect her own reputation, and she's been exposed big time. It's very clear for everybody to see, and she's gone and hid under a rock. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I've been a paragon of virtue. But it has to be clearly stated that you as an atheist community, en masse, hundreds of you, back this woman to try and silence my free speech. You caused me horrendous suffering as an atheist community because of that. You DPR Jones, you Hogtie Champ, you Lenator, you moderates like Ozzy, his wife, Christopher Mouty, John McDropout, you didn't have the balls to say, why are you slandering Jason? Where's the evidence? You allowed that slander to go uncontested. Why? Because J-Ball's a fundy, and we don't do that sort of thing. But when it's our own people, yes, then we will get all upset, and then we will scream and shout, and then we will provide evidence. And if you attack any of our people, we will demand evidence. But when we attack J-Ball, we won't give evidence. And that is the lesson from about TicketGate. That's the lesson that you can learn about this fiasco that's happened. Fiona Robertson and Alex Bottom have no credibility whatsoever now. They've got no credibility at all. And I'm vindicated. And I want to say to people out there, both on the Christian side and the atheist side, I'm not a paragon of virtue. But I tell you this, I would never hurt a child. And for her to have brought that accusation against me, to silence me, and not one of you on the internet ever challenged that woman to give evidence, shows how we're willing to go with the masses rather than be independent thinkers and be skeptical and critical when people are saying things that are not right. I wish them all the best. I don't have any animosity. But let's have it right. Let's have truth where truth is. If I've lied, or if I've made a mistake, or if I've done anything that's wrong, I will admit my mistakes. And I've admit my mistakes in videos. I have said wherever I've been wrong. Sometimes I've been aggressive and angry and things like that, and whatever. And I've admitted that, and I say it. So where there's a fault, I will admit it. But let's have it right. DPR Jones, Hogtie Champ, Lenator, many atheists out there use this to silence me. And now this person's been exposed to being a fraud. And I just wish everybody the best. But I'm just saying, listen to my sermons, listen to my lectures, because I'm the real deal. I'm a real Christian. I'm really born again. And I might make mistakes. I might have failed. But I did not deserve that kind of slander from Fiona. I didn't deserve that. And it was way below the belt. And I deserve a public apology from her, from Alex Bottom, and from the atheist community for the suffering that I was caused because of that. Take care and God bless.